Well, hello there, Minecrafters. Thanks for coming by. We're back in Diversity 2 in the puzzle branch. And before we start, I know you've been waiting for this puzzle, but spoilers to anybody who has... Whoa, hey, what are you doing?
Hello.
who has who has not played the map. Go play it first. Play it quick before you watch
Mhm.
this. Oh, and by the way, we're on a Talkcraft server. They were gracious enough to... Well, actually, they don't really know, but we're using their server space for the map. So thank you very much to everybody there.
Mhm.
But here we are. We're on, what, the third puzzle, right? Third puzzle, I think?
Yeah, I believe it's the third puzzle.
Oh, and QWERTY got a new mic. It sounds glorious.
Yes, it's a P11. It's a relative of the mic I used to have, which
The
was the X12.
dropped in soup.
Yeah.
Who drops their mic in soup? That's amazing. What kind of soup
Technically,
was
I
it?
didn't drop the mic. I dropped the volume controller, and it was vegetable soup.
A vegetable soup. Well, I'm sure it was delicious. Anyway, did you
Yeah.
lick? Did you lick it all off of the cord? That's what I would do.
I refrain to comment on such things.
You did. Okay, so logic puzzle. Okay, here we
Hmm.
go. Why don't you open up the chest? Let's see what
Yes.
we got here.
So this chest is actually what triggers you getting teleported down here, and it contains...
Right from the
I'll
one
just
above.
explain. Here, you grab a set. It regenerates every time you open the chest.
Okay, I got everything here.
All right. So basically, this chest contains. I'll just go over it quickly. So this is a logic puzzle, right? This puzzle is like you take a certain number of known facts and you extrapolate unknown facts from that until you come to a solution.
Big words, man.
Using this grid, basically.
Yeah.
It's a very common type of puzzle.
Yeah.
But
yep.
there's a set of things in here. There's true markers and false markers, which the lore explains what those do. There's the notebook, in case people don't want to use the grid, which Simply Sark actually did use. He didn't use the grid at all. He used the notebook and actually had pretty good time.
Yeah.
And the logic book, which gives you all of the known facts from which you can extrapolate all of the other things, basically.
All the info about the puzzle, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, you take the known facts, you use the known facts to put markers on this grid, or you can record them in the notebook if that's more your style. And using that, you can rule out possibilities and that sort of thing. And eventually you figure out which sheep goes where and what color they all are.
Now, and just to clarify, because some people didn't know this, and you clearly say, I think it's in the hints, all this can be placed on the stained clay, including the sheep face. Including the sheep face.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, right there, the hint. This one's logic puzzle. You can place markers on the grid walls, including the sheep's face. So I think a lot, maybe not a lot, but some people did miss that.
Yeah.
Which,
of course, technically, you can place these markers on any stained clay. You can place them in this room if you want.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, and okay. So before we go into the solution, I did want to mention these names here because there is some specific choices on that. Bob and Doug are definitely references from your thing, from my thing, from something else. There, your squid, your squids, or squid.
I love my TP squid. They're actually bats now. They turned into bats. They're still squids at heart, though.
Oh, because they used to be silent, right? Which are from Diversity 1, which are actually from a Canadian, like a sketch comedy show.
They are basically a reference to a reference to a reference.
Yeah, the best kind. Sam, I think I come up with that one. I think it was Sam the Sheepdog from Looney Tunes, I believe.
Yeah. And Thomas is a reference to the old thing on the Minecraft forums, Thomas the Sheep, which was in alpha where someone pushed a sheep into a mob grinder and they felt really guilty about it, so they used the sheep's wool to make a little monument to Thomas, and everyone started making monuments to Thomas the Sheep. So...
Have you seen anybody who recognized that reference?
Absolutely nobody.
No? But from the forums.
Very good. It's from a long time ago. Like, it was before the game really picked up and got popular, so most people wouldn't have been around for that.
A YouTuber did that?
Yes.
Okay. And Mac, I don't remember where that one
Mac's
came
a short name.
Okay. Mac's a short name. All right, so we have the grid. So the sheep names are right there. We also have the colors, which are they actually green?
Yes.
Green,
originally
blue?
Purple was...
it was something else.
like gray or something. And we actually had to use cyan because that was the only color that showed up as gray because
Yeah.
hard play messes with colors.
I was concerned that someone was going to use a resource pack and
Mhm.
it would change the color, so we changed these a little bit so they would work in any resource pack.
Yeah.
And then your directions here, which are actually kind of confusing because it's backwards from here, but either way, it is on your
that's
left
why
here,
I added these
right.
signs.
I think they really
specify where
helped.
left and right is, because some people got a little confused as to which was which.
Okay, all right. So go through the logic here.
Okay, so there's a couple hints, and you can use. I'll show you an example. So the second hint says the middle sheep is orange or green.
Mm-hmm.
So that means it's not any of the other colors. So the center sheep.
Okay,
is not
so the
yellow,
middle sheep is
blue,
orange or green. It means it can't
Yes.
be
yellow, blue, or purple.
yellow, blue, or purple. So you're putting
that's what-
down the buttons. Right.
And in addition, the what is it? The last hint number 8 on page 3 says the orange sheep is not in the middle.
Okay.
Which means it's not orange, and that means it can only be green.
Ah, so within 2 clues, you've already discovered one piece of truth in this. Plus, I noticed, like, this is how you do these puzzles. Once you find an answer, quickly put false in the other ones because when you see the big picture, it'll line up.
Yeah, you can rule out all the others. No other sheep is green because the center sheep's green. Likewise, no other sheep, like the center, can be no other color because it's green.
Okay, so what else do we know?
Mac and Bob are not yellow. That's easy enough to mark. Mac, Bob, not yellow.
Right.
The middle sheep is orange or green. We already did that one. Bob is to the right of the orange sheep. Now, a lot of people discard this one until they know where Bob is or where the orange sheep is, but that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. Bob is to the right of the orange sheep. That means, for one thing, Bob is not orange.
Because it also orange, means Bob cannot be on the left. Yeah.
And orange cannot be on the far right.
Ah, see, it's
that's what you can get from that.
Okay.
Mac is either yellow or on the far right. Now, we know Mac isn't yellow, so he's on the far.
We know that because we have it right there. Okay. Yep. So he has to be
on the far right.
On the far right.
All those out. Bob is 2 spaces left of Doug. Now, Bob is not on the far left spot, but he's 2 spaces left of Doug. And Doug is not on the far right spot. So the only way this can be true is if these 2 are true. Because Bob can't be in any other position, because then Doug can't be 2 spaces right of him, and vice versa.
So using the face, yeah, we've almost got all that spots eliminated here.
That sheep is a bad case of acne. Thomas is not in the far left spot. Okay, that one's easy. He's not there. He's there. Which actually means we already, not having read all the puzzles, know where all the sheep are.
Brilliant! Brilliant!
Indeed.
And people struggle on this one. Come on!
And that also means we can extrapolate some stuff from this one. So you can see, for instance, Bob is not yellow or orange, and he is on the mid-left.
Now, how do you make that correlation? Because Bob is right
Bob
here.
Is not yellow, and he's not orange.
He's not orange.
And Bob is the sheep on the mid-left, which means the sheep on the mid-left is not yellow or orange.
So okay.
Like that. And we can actually do the same with Mac. Mac's not yellow, so you can see that there. And what else have we got here? Oh, we can also map that the other way. So we know the center sheep is Thomas, and we know the center sheep is green. So Thomas is green. So we can map that. And I'm just going to take a moment and map all of these out. So
I'm just remembering Sheeple in this.
Sheeple. Yeah.
Sheeple was the original name
of
Mac?
Yeah, Mac.
Yeah. Yeah, and I thought that it was too confusing. So...
Okay, the sheep on the far right is purple. That's easy. This sheep is on the far right, it's purple, and that means that Mac is purple, so I can just label that, and there we go. Happy fun times for all.
And
the last one we already have. The orange sheep is not in the middle. So from here, we have to extrapolate our information.
Okay, looking at the grid, process of elimination.
Yes. So Doug is not green or purple, so we already have that listed here. Let's see, Sam. We don't know Sam's color. Oh, let's look back. Let's look back at the hints and see what we can get from the hints that we already have. So Mac and Bob not yellow. That's easy. The middle sheep is orange or green. It's green. Bob is to the right of the orange sheep. Now, Bob, there's only one spot Bob is to the right of, and that's the far left spot.
That's right.
So Bob is orange.
Bob is orange.
We can also mark that over.
Bob is orange.
I must have messed up here.
Bob's orange. Oh, I was going to put it up there. Too late.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, Bob is orange.
Mm-hmm.
And Bob's 2 spaces left of Doug. We already know where Bob and Doug are. Thomas is not in the far left spot. Yes. Okay. Now, since Bob is orange, we actually know which sheep is yellow because it's the only option left.
Right. Elimination.
So that means Doug is yellow. So we can mark that. Doug, yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Doug is yellow. And that leaves only one option on the colors, which is that Sam is blue.
And so also right there. Here. That's the only one. So,
and that's the solution.
In a matter of a few minutes, you deduced all of that. Now, of course, it's easier for you because you came up with this. But
yeah.
How do you come up with this sort of... how do you know the right amount of hints to give to people? Like, have you made these puzzles before?
A couple times.
Mm-hmm. I think I asked for one more when I... Like, you added one more hint just because I was really stuck when I did
for that, I already knew the solution.
Yeah.
So what I did was I just took a known fact. I think that was the last hint that the sheep on the far right is purple, or the orange sheep is not in the middle.
Yeah.
And so all I did was I took a known fact because obviously we know the answer and it's not. So I just added that in, and then I tried solving with that fact, and it was a lot easier. So you can technically solve it without that fact.
So now that everybody has a solution, it's a little bit trickier to follow when you're doing it that quickly. But
you can also use hints, and it'll print it for you.
So before we go to this side and start putting the colors on the sheep, why don't you talk about your design choice here? Because you've got some nice pillar stuff there. The colors I like because we already went over that.
Yeah.
I don't know, stripey, huh?
The design choice here is kind of a combination of Diversity 1, which had a lot of hardened clay stripes, but it was mostly iron, and Code, which had a lot of these pillars, and as you can see, it's a lot of quartz, but the floor is iron, because that's how Diversity 1 did it. Yeah. And this is a reference to the one Diversity 1 puzzle, where you have to guide sheep into pressure plates. Except this adds, you have to name them and color them, and you have to put them in the correct one.
It's a throwback, but it completely changes it. It's a totally different puzzle.
It's a different puzzle that uses a similar input mechanic.
I love how it links it. Yeah. Okay, and we had a lot of thought on this little drop down here. Because trying to reach that sheep, but not letting players go down, and
ultimately we included 2 methods of guidance because sheep don't like paying attention to wheat. So we added the leash, and you can just lead them with the lead. So,
okay, so let's hit a sheep. Let's show how this works, even though everyone's played it before. Well, we got Bob.
Bob, and what color is Bob on the grid?
Bob, I think, is blue, if I remember
Bob's
correctly.
Blue, and what's his position?
Blue. Bob is... Wait a minute, Bob's not blue. Bob's is orange. Is Bob orange? Bob's orange.
Bob's not orange.
Bob...
I think we got the solution wrong.
We don't even know how to do it ourselves, man!
Don't mind me. I'm just gonna go ahead and spam hints until it prints the solution.
Yeah, spam hints. Ignore the entire first part.
There you go.
Bob is supposed to be blue. Yeah.
Yeah, Bob's blue and he's on the mid left.
Alright, so in a matter of minutes, we actually messed up our own puzzle.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Now, I noticed this light's on. Well, that's to indicate...
that the sheep is in there, yes.
The sheep is in there. What is with that quartz block there? Look at that. Right below me, there's a quartz block on the floor.
Well, I don't know.
Okay. Well, anyway, so the light there indicates he's there's a sheep there.
And another thing to note, because sheep have a tendency to wander. So what would happen is people would press the button, and while they're trying to decide what color it is... Oh, no. Get over here.
Exactly. He's wandering.
Yeah, so he'd wander. Now, the thing is, I have it set up so all those little things pop up until you walk over them to lead the sheep over, which means the sheep isn't going to wander unless you have someone already standing over them, like Q-Magnet was.
Oh, sorry.
So Thomas is green, and he's in the middle. He's in the middle because he's the most important sheep, because Thomas is a god, as we all know.
Minecraft reference, whatever. All
There we
right.
go.
It's locking him in. Very cool.
Yep. Sam's orange. There we go.
Orange.
And he's on the far left. I kind of have the solution memorized.
Yeah. Now, the other thing is, what if you didn't solve it? Like if you put a sheep the wrong color there.
I will show you.
If you put a white sheep in here, put a white. It'd be the right name, but it'd be the wrong color. What if we do that? So we got these lights on that says.
Oh, we killed the sheep earlier. Killed Mac, so it didn't reset.
Nice. Okay.
Hang on, I got this. Okay. Salmon sheep. There we go. See,
wow.
Indistinguishable.
That's amazing. Okay, so we got a sheep. Yeah, we got a white sheep without a name. There we go.
Right, so
Ah.
All the correct ones light up, which means even if you got it wrong, like we did, it will tell you which ones are wrong.
Mm-hmm. You changed it with the clay that's over here to match.
Yes.
Very good. Because I think a lot of people miss that. When they get it right, it just goes on. They don't actually see this little effect that you did.
Yeah, which this was intended. So if you get one wrong, like we did, or like we were going to because we somehow messed up the hints, then it'll tell you what you got wrong, so you know what to rethink. Or you could take the approach a couple people did, and when it shows that which one you got wrong, and all you have to do is swap them, they just rage quit the map.
Yeah. Okay.
Not going to name any names here.
No. Okay, so anyway, before we solve it, let's take a look at the commands that you did, how you did everything in there.
Oh, this will be fun.
Okay,
Right, let's go outside the map.
Yeah, I'm going right behind it.
So I'm just going to do this in order. First, the actual logic thing is very simple.
Let's throw on the night vision here so we can see it again.
Oh, sure. So basically, this is very simple, actually. I have a chest here. Mm-hmm. And the chest has all the stuff.
Yep.
Now, there's a lot of tags on this stuff. Like, you can see if you hover over the true and false markers, they can be placed on stained clay.
Yep.
And they can break the torches and the buttons and stuff. And yeah, there's all sorts of fancy markers. And actually, this notebook has a special NBT tag so that it doesn't interfere with the command book system.
Right.
In case you solve it or whatever. And yeah, the sheep die is just sheep die. There's nothing fancy about it.
You renamed it though, okay, yeah.
You can actually see one of the commands I used for the false markers over here. I kept it in case something happened to the chest.
Okay.
But that's very simple. When you open the chest, well, actually, it's when you close the chest, it regenerates the stock. It just clones in the new chest.
Oh, okay, right there. Yep.
Yeah. And you can actually see a copy of the finished map. This is what I clone in if you do all the hints.
Like we had to do, yeah.
Yes.
So
and
it gives you the answer.
I just realized if you were to place a button right here, it would actually summon a colored sheep and just drop it into the
on the opposite side of the wall. Yep. Press it. That's good. Okay.
Well, I guess it doesn't affect gameplay, so whatever. It just drops a sheep.
All right. So, and I know you've got. This is a cool little. I never really used it before. I saw you doing this.
Yes.
You've got command blocks in a dropper.
Yes. So basically, the way
dispenser.
this works is I didn't want to bias which sheep come out first because people might think, oh, the sheep that come out first are on the left or whatever, and I didn't want that. So it's randomized. Each of these 5 command blocks summons a sheep in the appropriate input slot.
So each one of these commands is a summon sheep command. Each one of these command blocks, right?
So, yeah. And when you reset the sheep, it clones this over to here, which you can see this dispenser has all 5 of them, which means there won't be any repeats. So when you press the button above this, it spits out a command block, which summons the sheep, and it also plays a couple notes and does a little particle effect, and removes the command block here, so it resets the button, so you can do the next one. And I don't know what the rest of this does.
It doesn't matter. There's a clock running, looks like.
Oh, yeah, it's, this is the clock. When you press the button, it makes all the stuff pop up, and this is the clock that detects when you're in the region, and it just activates this basic RS NOR, which drops the stuff, which you can see if I fly over here. I think I have to actually go inside the thing. Oh, it's already lowered. Okay.
Okay.
It's already lowered. We're good.
All right. So I think the main section here is this. This is where it checks the sheep, right?
Yes. So the way I check is whenever a sheep gets put in a thing, it retracts one of these pistons.
Retracts a piston.
Yes.
Extends, retracts.
Extends. It extends one of the
Okay.
pistons,
Yep.
which clears up the path for this redstone dust.
Ah,
And all
okay.
extended, then it checks the answer.
Ah, okay.
And when it checks the answer, what it does is each of these checks.
Very clever.
You can see it checks for a sheep in the right position, with the right color, and with the right name. For each one that is correct, it'll turn off this torch.
So we've got a test for E in this location.
Yes.
Type sheep Thomas, color 13B. Good. Okay. Yep.
So when it does that, it turns off this torch, which does two things. For that individual sheep, it runs up here, and it clones the appropriate.
Oh, so what have you got? What have you got here? You've got this interesting I almost called it half slab.
Oh yeah.
Slab.
That's a way to run redstone up vertically.
Huh.
If I were doing this nowadays, I would probably just use set block, but my mind was kind of still in the redstone mindset.
Yeah. We were kind of in the phase of set block there. So it actually comes up here and then like a staircase up there, and then hits this redstone.
And what that does is it just puts the appropriate clay in, which this only activates when it's
Okay, so this depends on the color that you get. Yep.
Yep.
So really, down at the bottom, only if it's correct, this will go off.
Yeah, and if all of them are correct, all 5 of them will turn off, which will activate this little torch here, which after a short delay moves on to the next puzzle and activates all this stuff, which turns off the appropriate clocks and sets the hints and all that jazz, and it plays the little portal effects. And that's pretty much it for this puzzle.
And you've got lots of glowstone around here. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
So we already almost solved it. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that.
You cheated! You cheated it! Okay, very good. Oh, all right. Yeah, so even though we kind of messed up the solution, I think they kind of get the gist of it. All right, so I guess that's it for that puzzle. Next episode, we're going to be looking at what's this one called? The Jukebox Maze, I guess.
Indeed.
Jukebox Maze. And again, I said this one was brilliant. I love this one. I think most people think this is the best, I think.
I don't know. I think most people think the Portal one's the best, but that's just because of the wow factor of portals. Honestly, I think the Portal one's kind of gimmicky, but that's just me.
Well, whatever.
So.
Okay, so next time we'll head into the jukebox, and any last words, Qwerty?
Not really.
Not really. Another direct quote. Okay, very good. Well, we'll see you next time. Enjoy your Minecrafting again. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.